Using a single fixed lens for a long period of time can actually make you a better photographer. I'm going to explain to you guys why. In the beginning of 2020, right before Corona and everything started, I decided to go to Japan to travel for a couple of days. And while I was packing for my camera and gears, I just decided to bring only one lens and one camera just to experiment, because I saw a lot of people doing it and they had some thoughts on it, but it wasn't exactly what I was looking for. So I just decided to try it myself. And I think for those who are trying out going out with only one lens has all the same experiences, that they get really scared because you're scared that you'll miss something amazing, and if only you had that zoom lens you would get that shot. And so I was really scared. But it turned out that during those couple of days in Japan, I actually took some of the best pictures that I've ever taken in my life. I'm 25 years old. I hope I'm not reaching my peak yet. So the camera I was using is the Sony Alpha 6600. It's the camera that I'm using right now. And the lens that I used was the Sigma 30mm 1.4 DCDN. Is this one. To be honest, I am really happy with this lens. It's really well built, and it's very lightweighted, very small. I'm going to show you guys some of the pictures in a second, but first I really want to talk about the change I had after using only one lens. I've actually been thinking about this for a very long time, and I think it only comes down to one benefit, which is fewer options. The more options you have with the gears and the settings and everything, the more decision you have to make. So when you have less options, you actually have a clear mind and you have more, I guess, brain space for the creativity that you will need when you're taking the pictures. So when you have a lot of options, it means you have a lot of decisions to make, and the back of your head is just keep worrying and thinking about whether or not you made the right decision. So if the decision doesn't even exist on the first place, you wouldn't be worrying about it, and you wouldn't, you can just focus on what really matters, which is what's in front of your eyes, the subject, the image, the scenery, whatever it is. There are a lot of things that you have to make decisions for when you're taking a picture. Having only one focal length, one lens, actually save you a lot of time. But again, it really depends on what you're doing. If you're, I don't know, if you're shooting animals or something, maybe you really need a zoom lens. But when I was in Japan, I was just doing street photography, and I feel like a 30mm is like perfect for street photography. I didn't really need to think a lot. Some people might say, oh man, when I'm switching my focal length, it's just a 1 second decision. It doesn't take a lot of time. I don't think so. I think when you're shooting like a building or something, and then you just keep zooming and you think, no, this is not the right thing. 10 seconds pass, 20 seconds pass. The thing is, when you spend your brain energy thinking about it and spending time making decision, you will get tired of it also. So I think if you're out shooting for 5 hours, 6 hours, and imagine how much decision you have to make during these times. The longer you shoot, the more it accumulates, and then your brain will get tired. Maybe you will stop shooting a bit earlier than you're supposed to be. To be really honest, these are just my assumption. I don't have any scientific proof to that, but I actually feel like that. Like when I was shooting with only one lens, I feel liberated. Might be a funny word to use, but I actually didn't know that I felt burdened when I had a lot of gears. Sometimes you have this feeling that since I have all these gears, I might have to use all of them just to get the best from where I am. Maybe this scene is better if I use a stabilizer or something like that. The longer you stayed in the creative field, the more you realize that the mindset is more important than the gears and the skills and all of that. Because I feel like when I have a clearer mind and I don't have a lot of stress in my mind, the work becomes better. So I think people should remember that your brain capacity has only, let's say has only this much, okay? And if you already take more than half of a chunk thinking about what focal length you should use and what gears you should use, the less space you have to think about the creativity side of your work. So I feel like just try to crunch down the decision that you have to make with the gear, so the more creative, the more beautiful your image is going to be. I believe that is true, and I'm going to continue to work towards that. And I hope you guys will try it out as well. I think it's such a fun experience. I also tried with film. The film is actually even more interesting because you don't even get to see the result of it. That's actually really fun. And obviously phone photography, I did a lot of it. I talked about it in the past, you can go check out the videos. Now, before I end the video, I want to spend 2 minutes talking about the gears that I actually use. So as I mentioned earlier, I was using the Sony Alpha 6600. I actually love this camera so much. I thought it's amazing. It's an APS-C. You know, the camera body size is just so small, and then the battery is really good. So I used a relatively small lens with it and I traveled with it. It's really fun. And I always thought, man, APS-C is the future, you know, because it's so small, good battery life. What more can you ask for? And then came the Sony A7C, which has, I guess, almost the same body size as the Sony A6600, but it's a full frame camera. Right now, for those who are thinking of going minimal with the small camera body size, check out the Sony A7C. Maybe you would love it. I haven't tried it myself yet, but if it's the same as the 6600 but it's full frame with all the capability of the Sony A7 III, I think that will be an amazing camera. And so for those who want to go minimal with a small camera size, the Sony A7C might be the best camera for you. So yeah, just a quick thought, and I'm gonna end the video right here. See you guys, bye.